Welcome back again, the CryptoCollex followers. Today we have a very special guest, Amoveo founder Zack Hess with us, and it's a real pleasure for us to meet you and have you here with us. As an introduction,
thanks for having me on Cryptoholics.
Thank you very much. So, as an introduction question, I would like to actually ask you, what are your hobbies? Where are you from? What are you doing for living? And I mean, how you spend your time? We are curious about you actually.
Well, I do go running occasionally, but most of my time is taken up by working on Amoveo. Before I got involved in cryptocurrencies, I had been studying physics at UC Santa Barbara, and I was doing internships at JPL NASA. But then I got inspired to work on Amoveo.
So you were back in the college working on different projects, and then you moved to Amoveo, right?
Yeah, well, I realized that people are making decisions in the wrong ways. They're using voting to make decisions, and they're putting people in charge of making decisions. And I think that we should use the invisible hand of the market to make important decisions that affect many people. And so I have to work on Amoveo.
And I also saw some futarchy'i idea in your projects. Why it's important in blockchain?
Well, futarchy'i is a natural consequence of allowing certain kinds of financial markets. The ones we're focusing on are like combinatorial markets, where people are betting on whether two different things are going to happen. Mm-hmm. So there's four possibilities, really. Whether or not someone gets elected, and whether the price of food goes up or down, for example. And by letting people bet in these types of markets, we can prove things about the future. And you can look up these facts as easily as you can look up the price of a commodity.
And so we are curious, what was your first involvement with crypto and how did you become a crypto developer?
Well, I first started working in cryptocurrency when I went on Reddit, jobs for Bitcoin, and I got a job helping someone put private keys inside of physical Bitcoins and selling those. And I've just been working since then.
It was 2011 or?
What year was it?
Oh no, it was 2000, I think 14 or 15.
14. Then you met with TrustCoin?
TruthCoin.
Yeah, TruthCoin.
Yeah, I was the moderator on their forum for a long time. TruthCoin is a project started by Paul Stortz, and it really opened my eyes to what is possible in the future. And I don't completely agree with him, so I'm building a different platform, but his vision is what led me here.
But yes, it was a stepping stone for you, so it's important, I think.
Right.
Yeah. So do you follow other crypto projects, or are there any other projects that you still look into it, like follow to integrate to your system?
Well, I try to keep an eye on Ethereum, and then any crypto projects that are involved with prediction markets or oracles, because yeah, I want to see if they come up with anything new that we can use for Amoveo. But there hasn't been very much innovation in a long time.
Endor is claiming to be a good
project.
Endor project, yes.
Oh, okay. I'll take a look into it then.
It's coming from MIT. And
yeah, you can check it out.
Yes, later.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, like, before going into details, I would like to also ask what you see in the crypto world, the problems. What are the problems that you encounter? Why you are working on blockchain?
Well, the problems that I see are how people make decisions today. I think I mentioned this earlier, but you know, people are using voting, or they're putting someone in charge. For example, when you put someone in charge of something, you're just inviting corruption. If someone gets to be the decision maker, then you just got to bribe that one person and you can get the decision made the way you want. And a problem with voting is rational irrationality. It's in each individual voter's interest to not waste so much time becoming a good voter and actually understanding the issues. It takes way too much effort to become an informed voter. So almost all of us are voting from a position of ignorance. And I just can't stand how much wasted human potential is happening because of this. And I want to create better mechanisms so we can make good decisions without the corruption.
So if you were to sum up Amoveo in like a couple sentences, what would it be?
Amoveo is a cryptocurrency for financial derivatives.
For financial derivatives, that's perfect. So, what are financial derivatives and how do they work?
A financial derivative is when you sell something at a different point in time. So we make an agreement that I'll buy some rice from you next year, and that would be a derivative.
All right. So, you're saying Amoveo will work with oracles, as I've read within your white paper. So, what are oracles, and could you explain how they work to our viewers?
An oracle is a mechanism whereby the blockchain can learn a fact about our world. So if we want to bet on a football game, then the blockchain needs to know the result of that football game. So an oracle is a mechanism whereby people can report to the blockchain what the result was. And it's designed to be crypto-economically secure so that you can't cheat it and make it lie.
So how is it like crypto-economically secured? Like what's the game theory behind it?
What's the game theory behind the oracle in Amoveo?
Yeah.
So it's we try to get our fundamental security. We want to make as few assumptions as possible. So we get our fundamental security from the Satoshi Nakamoto consensus, which is the proof of work game. So on some level, the oracle is secure because you can you can have a fork happen in history and force the oracle to go one way or the other if the community decides that that should happen. And then to make this feasible, because that's an expensive process, we use a betting mechanism. That way the amount of money at stake can escalate to the point where there's enough money at stake to make it worth it for the community to fork the protocol and force it to go a certain way.
Why you choose proof of work?
Well, proof of work, we need a way to distribute the tokens. And so proof of work is how that's done. That's how we distribute the tokens. I guess the other options are proof of burn, but that's like a one-time event, or a token sale, a ICO. Again, that's just a one-time event. We need to keep distributing tokens.
And keep generating them, right? So.
Yes.
So what's on your roadmap? How will you reach market domination?
So on the roadmap, we want to get the exchanges working better. That way it's easier for Bitcoin users to get into the project, participate in our financial contracts, our markets, and to leave afterwards. And we want to get a smart contract to enable the combinatory markets. Right now, we only have binary markets, and a smart contract for scalar markets, like for contract for difference. Then I'm going to focus on finding a clique of humans who can benefit from one of these markets, and I'm going to focus on making it more usable for this clique of humans. Then after that, based off of what we've learned, off of how people actually use it, I think I'm going to focus more on like marketing the project, maybe even rename it based off of how people were using it. This is my plan for the short-term roadmap.
Perfect.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. So how do you spend most of your time right now? Do you spend it most on the exchange that you mentioned?
No, all my commits are on GitHub. The last few days I've been focusing on in the Amoveo full node and how it processes transactions.
All right.
And recently I was making it process blocks in parallel so it could sync faster. Sometimes I work on the exchange. There's a lot of things going on in parallel. Right. I spend a lot of time talking to the users to figure out what's not working well for them. And then I try things out and contact them again and see if it helped and stuff like that.
So, can you provide us real-life examples?
Well, I think someone made some markets for betting on the outcome of the FIFA World Cup soccer.
Are those markets live? I saw talk about them, but they were discussing like which countries we should create bets on.
Right. I'm not sure if it's actually live yet, but the light node that works in the browser, it's very easy to use, and you can use that to participate in any of these markets. And anyone running a full node can make markets pretty easily. So if you want to make a market, it's not difficult, and I'll help you do it.
And you mentioned there are some people that try to interact with you. So, I mean, this shows us that your project is growing quickly. So what are the tools that you use to integrate these people in your project? Like there are some coders, there are some miners, right? And there are some fans actually. So how can you implement that to your project?
The main GitHub page gives links to Discord and Reddit and Telegram in different communities where you can contact me, you can contact other members of the community to find out answers to whatever questions you have about Amoveo.
Okay, that's perfect. So we will provide links, as I told you before, in the description of this video.
It seems you are a one-man show at the moment, so do you think that you will expand the team of Amoveo?
Well, so far I have done most of the typing, but for example, Mr. Flintstone, who uses an anonymous name, he came up with the idea of a recent hard fork, and then he proved that it was possible, and then he did most of the programming for it as well. And this hard fork is going to make it much more affordable to use the Oracle, use the Amoveo Oracle.
Not for only coding, just marketing or for the partnerships, for the business.
What business? Well, for marketing, I was thinking once we get these markets working a little better, we can create dominant assurance contracts, which is a type of financial contract whereby we can incentivize someone to do some marketing or to write some software for Amoveo. And it's kind of like a lot of the community is buying insurance in the possibility that the marketing won't happen, or they're buying insurance against the possibility that some software will not get written. And using this mechanism, we can crowdfund the development, we can crowdfund marketing, dog food style, by using Amoveo to accomplish our goals, instead of traditional business companies' employment situations.
I see. That clears my mind a lot more, because I read the dominant assurance contract, the GitHub page, and like a few other pages related to it, and I couldn't understand what it said actually. So just to get it clear in my mind, if I want to, let's say, create a beautiful website for Amoveo and I wanted to raise funds for it, I need someone else to bet that Amoveo will not be, marketed or will not have a beautiful website, and then I'll build that and then take their money because I have done that. Is that the type of thing that you're mentioning?
Yeah, that's correct. That's how it works.
Okay, so there my question is, it's like I want to help out Amoveo. I want to like make the wallet better, make the website better, or like create a website for it or whatever, but there's no one betting against that currently, and I won't bet against that because if someone bets against that, I'll gladly make that turn that into reality. So what's the incentive of the person who's going to bet against that?
Well, if you can convince me that this is going to make Amoveo 10% more valuable, then I would be incentivized to invest 10% of, or like 5% of my Amoveo in this, because it'll make the rest of my Amoveo more valuable. So it's a profitable venture. And even if you fail to make the website, I get my money back plus interest. So I'm making a profit either way.
I see. So I have to create a contract, open a market for it, and then make you guys believe that this will make the project better, and with that I can build fund my website about Amoveo, right?
Right, you've got it.
That's cool. That's cool. I'm right now thinking.
I think that's very bright. I think, yeah. and that's good hedge strategy. I think very well done.
Well, this is an idea that comes from TruthCoin. And
yes, I know.
Paul Stort's writing.
I think it's perfect.
So another question I want to ask is, I've read Vitalik's post about futarchy'i. I think he wrote it in 2014, and he was mentioning at the bottom of the post that he was saying like MadeSafe and some other coins, you guys should implement this in your blockchains and test it. It sounds like a really good concept. It has been 4 years, and as I've researched, I couldn't find a coin that has implemented this. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I couldn't see. Do you know of other coins that have implemented this? Why not? And like, what's your difference?
Well, I think Gnosis implemented a lot of prediction market and betting market stuff on top of Ethereum. I think there's a lot of legal risk in making these sort of things. And if you build it on a centralized protocol, then you're inviting legal hardships. Luckily, Amoveo is a decentralized protocol, so it's more secure for us to build it on top. And part of the problem is that prediction markets, it's pretty difficult to put something like that into a blockchain. So especially in a decentralized environment. I think, because of the difficulty and the legal risk if you go with the centralized route, and that's why it doesn't exist yet.
True, I understand your point. I also read in the blogs that the difficulty is increasing in mining. So the difficulty is increasing, the profit is decreasing. How are you going to manage this?
Since Amoveo launched about 4 months ago, the difficulty has only gone up. Until recently, the block time has been fairly consistent. Lately, the block time has been rather slow, about 4 to 8 times slower than usual.
One block time was 1 hour, as I read.
Lately it's been about 1 hour.
Okay, perfect. So do you think it fits enough?
Yeah, it's fast enough. You can still use Amoveo to do all the things that Amoveo is supposed to do. The oracles still work, the markets still work, the channels still work. It's not really an issue. We're inside the range of tolerance. We are giving away less money to miners, but that's kind of a good thing because we don't want to give away too many Amoveo tokens that makes them less valuable.
So about the community, it is growing, and I think the Telegram group has reached 900 people. Like a month ago, it was around 500, I believe. So it has doubled in a month. So how do you plan on managing your social media or other places? Do you plan on getting admins for it or moderators?
There's some community members who have been around for a while who have already set up to be moderators. We're not looking for more at this time.
So, do you have anything else you want to tell our viewers?
I think this covers everything that I wanted to cover today. Thank you for having me on Cryptoholics.
We thank you for being here with us and sharing your opinions about the project. Let's keep in touch.
Goodbye.
And we are going to share the links down below so you can check in the description, and people can communicate you through your social medias like Discord, as you mentioned, Telegram.
Correct.
And they can ask their questions to you directly because you are spending your time in these social media regions, right?
Correct.
So again, thank you very much for having us.
Okay, bye bye. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.